ready to go. Ready to go. You're weird in tears, too near and too far away. He said, so red, went home, stayed in bed all day. T-shirt, dish dirt, always love the one you hug. It's a crack, I'm back, yeah, I'm standing on the rooftop shouting out, baby, I'm ready to go. I'm back and ready to go. From the rooftop shouting out, it's a crack, I'm back, yeah, I'm standing on the rooftop shouting it, baby, I'm ready to go. I'm back and ready to go. From the rooftop shout it out, shout it out.
Yay!
You sleep too deep. 1 week is another one. Big mouth, drop out. You get what you deserve. You're strange inside.
Bro, the last time we were here,
You can never judge.
we ended abruptly.
You ended abruptly. I was still going. I didn't even know the show was over.
I was like Tommy Morrison when he fought Ray Mercer. Just took an uppercut and was out on my feet.
That was crazy. I didn't know what to do. I thought I might have to, practice my CPR skills.
Yeah, you ran out the door so fast.
I don't like seeing shit like that. I can't deal with.
What if I needed mouth to mouth?
I'm sure there's somebody in another studio around here somewhere.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think the building was empty. We did the last show of the day in this building.
Yeah. Well, you got napkins and stuff around. I'm sure we could have made it work.
I was in the bathroom. I could have been covered in feces and puke and blood and urine, and you were nowhere to be found.
You still would have been the same way when they found you the next day.
Dude, well, we're back. We're gonna make up for it this week. We had a huge show tonight, bro. Two MLB legends. I mean, 20 years. I think 20 years each, just about.
It's a lot, man. It's exciting. Exciting. I can't wait to get you guys in there.
We're gonna talk wine. We're gonna talk Phillies baseball. Of course, we're gonna talk Yankees baseball.
Oh, a lot to talk about there.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk all over the place.
It's been this week and the end of last week's been major news a lot. I like it. It's exciting. These two guys in here tonight, though, they're I mean, there's, even though they both play the same sport, it's like there's so many different things to talk to with each of these guys. Just the stuff they've been through, the accomplishments, and some pretty cool things, I think. So can't wait to get that going. How you been doing on betting? I ain't been doing nothing on betting. I took my winnings and actually made a truck payment.
You made a truck payment with your winnings?
Yeah, I made a truck payment last Friday with my winnings over the last 2 weeks. My truck payment isn't small, dude. Yeah, I'm some TD over here.
I'm just checking to make sure everything's working tonight. I'm working tonight. I'm just making sure everything else is working tonight. Look, let's get something out of the way real fast, all right? Because I see this guy from and I don't know what's going on with X. Hopefully this thing catches on with X, but we're set to be on X, but right now it's showing us not broadcasting to X. So I don't know what the story is. If
I don't know. I think we're good with Elon.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe he took our money away.
I heard he's doing that a lot lately.
Look, I'm gonna give you something here real fast tonight. All right, I'm gonna give you two things. Okay, two quick winners right out of the gate here. I'm gonna give you a 5-bet parlay in the NFL tonight. You want in the NFL? That'd be pretty damn good if I could do that.
Yeah.
Right?
It ain't losing. And a push is a win.
What the heck is going on here? Is this gonna be that night, dude?
It's definitely going to be that night.
All right, let's go this way. Let's go. Yes.
But that's when we make the magic happen. When everything's going wrong, that's when when the people like to watch.
I guess so. I don't know. I'm right. You know what? I feel sick. I think the show needs to end now. I need to go.
Fade to black. Fade to black.
Here's what we got tonight. OKC -8.5. Lock it in. Memphis -3. Lock it in. And then I'm gonna have to read this to you off of my phone and take those on Novig. And yesterday, you know that I'm out at this MLS all the time, right?
Yeah, you love it. You hang out there.
Yeah, well, I don't know if
we are live, Deidre and Bobo. We are live.
Let's get that thing out of there and come back this way. Let's get the chat fired up. See, this is stuff, Stephen, where you could help for sure. Yes, is this live? We are live. Hardly. Yes.
Yeah, AJ's old, man. AJ's old.
And I got a new camera, which hopefully, and you know what I did This was my recovery while I looked this bet up for everybody real fast, because I saw that these what's the guy, the big dog from Barstool, he's 14-0 this month in his bets. So this has motivated me to get my act together and start putting some picks back out. So I'm going to give you a sleeper bet tonight, or you can do this on our fans at Better also. But I got Russell, Brooklyn over 16.5 points. I got Gilgorius over 33.5 points. I got John Morant over 26.5 points. And Austin Reeves over 33.5 points. And then I took this big 5-game crazy parlay too, but you guys are just not going to be able to get that information because for some reason we're having trouble getting it to load up. So what do we got tonight? We got Rich Hill. We got Joe Blanton. We're going to bring back what we were going to do the other night, our game show. How well do you know your golfers?
I got that. Tom.
So you and Chef Tom will be joining us later in the show.
Tom's in trouble.
Here's what I did, and there's so much news. And Steven's got the breaking news down there. Better, yeah. Use our promo on Better. Better's a fantastic app. I've been using it this weekend. We'll talk more about Better later this week. But there's a great promo. They'll give you up to $250 back on your first bet if it doesn't win. But what I did, long story short, and then we'll get down to business here. Is it was exhaustion. I wasn't sick. I slept 15 hours the night after we left here. And then the next night I slept 8 hours. And yesterday I felt fantastic. It was like a switch flipped. Yesterday, the weather was so beautiful. I went to the Inter Miami game and I saw the weather report. It said 90 degrees. And I thought, oh, this is going to be brutal out there. It was like a Jersey Shore summer day.
Did they have some wind?
Absolutely beautiful. No, there wasn't really any wind. But the night after we went off, and I when I went down sick, and I went down with the ship that night, I went to Inter Miami that Thursday night. It was like 4 degrees out there. I was dying. I couldn't breathe. I thought I had bronchitis, pneumonia. I went home, slept it all off. And anyway, we're back, and I'm glad we're back because, man, we got a great show tonight. So let's our first guest. Let's get right to it. Okay. Joe Blanton. All right. Where am I have a soft spot for Joe Blanton in my heart? 2008 Phillies, baby. That was one of my Phillies teams right there.
I think that's where most of the story is going to come, like that glory year.
Yeah, I mean that was a great year, but I mean, that's a great year to us. We need to find out what a great year it was to Joe, and we're going to talk to him also about Selah wine also tonight. Hey Joe, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We're fantastic. Thanks for joining us tonight, man. We really appreciate it. And and we're big fans. And we did a little bit of research on things that we might not have known about you. But I remember you. How do we remember you? There were times where I rooted for you, and there were times where I rooted against you.
Yeah, a little bit all over the place, right?
Yeah, exactly. You want to start with wine, or you want to start with baseball? Because
Hey,
I
you guys
know.
pick. It's your show. You pick. I can go either way.
Tell us about the wine, and why is it not called Blanton wine?
Because there's the bourbon with the name Blanton attached to it. So
Ooh.
basically, short snapshot of all alcohol, whether it's a craft beer or a vodka or whatever it is, in any country or anywhere, they all have trademark, and that one's got the last name trademarked. So so I had to switch to find something basically creative, and came up with the word sailor, which means to pause and reflect. And it kind of ties into baseball a little bit. Napa used to I call it my pause button, if you will, where I used to go every November after the baseball season was over.
And is that where you reside now in
Yep.
that area? Okay.
Yep, I'm out in Napa now. Yeah, from Kentucky originally, and live in Napa now.
Now, can people take tours? Because me and my wife did a San Fran vacation one year, and we did that whole Napa tour thing where we drove from, I guess it's vineyard to vineyard, and we got chocolate and wine, and it was like the most relaxing day ever.
It is. It's
beautiful.
It's a very relaxing place. Yeah, for sure. That's was one of the things that drew me to it. I mean, you got first class wine, food. You're basically in a farming community here. In kind of the middle of nowhere, tucked in its own little. Obviously, it's a valley, so you're tucked in its own little place. And we figure out tastings. We don't have a tasting room because I'm so small. I don't make a lot of wine, but we usually figure things out if people come up this way.
So how do you even get into wine? Because like when I think of like a World Series champion, stuff like that, like I think of a celebration, taking a beer, chugging it, busting it on your forehead. How do you get to wine?
So the World Series celebration, it is a lot of beer chugging, champagne popping, pouring, spraying, the whole deal. But honestly, it's through baseball. Kind of, I got into wine a little bit when I was with the A's originally. That was who I was drafted by. Came up with Oakland. You just mentioned San Fran, an hour and a half up from Napa. You're taking all the trips with the guys, right? During the season, flying into whatever city it is. If you get in early, the guys go to dinner. Where do guys go? Steakhouses, right? So wine was being ordered, and I didn't know what was going on. And I was like, I'm close to Napa. Let me go find out. Made one trip up, caught the bug. Rest is history.
Wow. So what is a day like in the life of Joe Blanton now, the wine connoisseur? Is it like an I Love Lucy episode? Are you stomping these grapes?
No stomping grapes.
No?
No stomping grapes. So you can be safe. My feet haven't been in our wine. Try to keep it a little cleaner than that. Honestly, wine business is you wind up planning a lot of trips, doing a lot of computer work. So I spend a lot of time actually on the road now, traveling, doing wine dinners, wine events, charities, things like that. There are certain times a year, wine growing season's almost like a baseball season. It kind of has its spring where everything's growing. Then you got your summer months, and our World Series now, if you will, is harvest time in fall. And that's when you hope everything goes good. And at the end of the season is all good and then finishes out well.
Do you enjoy it as much as you enjoyed baseball? Or are you enjoying retirement? I mean, is this what you hoped for?
I definitely have a passion for wine. But if you're completely honest, nothing ever fills the void of baseball again. And I tell guys that, that are towards the end of their career that I get to meet now, or, maybe in the last couple of years, I'm like, enjoy the end of it. Because, even if you have something you're going to enjoy doing after, it's something you did since you're a kid that you've loved, that you enjoy, that you've lived, you've been fortunate enough to do your entire life. And it's something that you can't do at that level again, obviously. I'm still involved, not at the major league level. I just started a travel team for my son, so I'm still involved. He's 12, so I have a bunch of 12-year-olds I coach now. And
Wow.
So I'm still involved in baseball at a capacity, but just not at that high level.
Do you follow MLB? Because I had spoken to Derek Jeter after he retired, and for the first few years, he never went back to Yankee Stadium. And he says, look, I worked there for 20 years. Why would I go back to work? I'm retired. I don't really pay. Obviously, it's changed now that he's announcing and he's working for Fox. But do you check out, or do you still follow the game? Do you still follow players, teams?
I do understand what he was saying, and I think for me as well. The first couple years, I don't think I paid a lot of attention. Maybe here and there, if I'm hanging out with the guys, I was, that I became friends with in the area. That we would watch a game, and I had friends still playing at that time. Now I'm 7 years removed, and it seems like it's becoming less and less players that I played with that are still playing. But I would still watch the guys that I knew. But other than that, not a whole lot. But now that, like I said, my son, he's 12, he's getting older. He enjoys watching on TV. So we'll put it on TV and watch it every once in a while when we can.
Who does he root for? Does he have a favorite team?
He follows a couple, mostly the ones that I played for. And he says his number ones are the Phillies and Dodgers. He was born when I was with the Dodgers in 2012. So I think he holds a special place because that was the team he was born with, and then obviously the Phillies. Been fortunate enough that I get to go back a little bit to Philly, and I've taken him a couple times, and he's really enjoyed that.
I could just imagine how cool it'd be for a kid, and your dad's an ex-athlete, an ex-star, just to be out there with the other guys like that. That's my dad right there. He's coaching us. Like, what a good feeling.
I don't know. And I talk to other dads. I don't think he listens to me, and I think he's like, so any parents out there that have a kid and they're trying to coach him, and they're like, my kid doesn't listen. Mine's the same way.
Has your kid gotten into this lacrosse?
No. They're pretty much baseball, basketball. I have two girls I coach in softball too, and they've pretty much been soccer and softball, and it's not that big out here, I would say.
Okay, yeah, I got a 12-year-old, and she just, this is her first experience in team sports, and she joined the lacrosse. And I went to watch the game last week, and I just don't get it. I don't know why this is a sport. This is the goofiest, silliest thing I've ever seen in my life. And it's a bunch of 12-year-olds. And how do you teach them? It's like a combination of soccer and hockey and ping pong, sort of, in a way. And none of it makes any sense. But
yeah, you got me on those. I don't understand those. I try to stay in my lane, stick to what I know.
Beautiful. Well, hey, let me ask you about Philly. All right.
Okay.
We want to ask you we want to ask you about Oakland too, and moving the team out of there. But with Philly, so I grew up a Yankees fan. We had a sort of dramatic experience in my life with my wife got really sick about 8 years ago, and we ended up in Philadelphia because they've got incredible medical care in Philadelphia. And we kind of fell in love with the city. And I took my kid to her first baseball game. It was a Phillies Mets game. And this was 2017. So it was before the Phillies got good again. But she loved it. And they gave her a little, the first time your kid goes to the stadium, you get a little certificate, my first game, and you get your picture taken with a fanatic. And anyway, we fell in love with it. But growing up a Yankee fan, I thought that the Bronx fans were the worst, most violent, toughest fans. Philly fans make them look like Sesame Street. What was it like playing there?
You know what? I was very fortunate. I was in a good run, half of 08 to half of 12. So every year, 8, 9, 10, 11, we won the division every year. Obviously, World Series 8, lost the World Series in 9. Again, 10 and 11. With 11, we won 100-something games. We had great teams. That just shows how hard it was to win a World Series. I always say our 2011, 2010 teams were, and probably 9 were better than our 08 team. But our 08 team had something, special that year. It's not always the best team that wins it every year. We see that going into the playoffs. Speaking of the Dodgers, they were able to do it this year. But you look at previous years, most of the times teams with best record don't wind up winning World Series. A lot of times who's hot at the time, who's not. But going back to that, I remember, going to New York and 09 World Series, and we were, going on the road, and we hit Yankee Stadium, and we're in there, and we leave game 1 to go back on the bus. We're like, that's not bad as a visitor. We get worse than that at home.
Yeah, Philly fans are not shy at all. Period.
I definitely want to take it back to '08 though, because as a guy, and I feel like we all have those "oh, I'm the man" moment, where you feel like you just did it. And I think in 2008, Game 4, you kind of had one of those moments. Was it Game 4 or Game 5 where you hit the home run?
Game 4.
Game 4.
Mm-hmm.
What was that feeling like? Because when you're throwing the game and then you add points, come on, that's exciting.
You know what? I think if I really think back about it and I think about now, it's probably more special now than it was then.
Yeah.
Because at that moment, and this is the way I always answer this. At that moment, my job was to pitch. I just got really lucky and put a good swing on a ball that happened to go out. And all I remember thinking is when I got back to the dugout, I got to lock in on pitching. What if I go out and give up 4 runs? Then I've blown the lead, and that's for nothing. Now
Right.
because the series was 2-1 at that time. Now do that, we're 2-2. They got new life. We're tied. We only got 1 game left at home, 2 back at them. So it was a really of like I got to focus on pitching. The home run doesn't matter. So and then after that, where we wind up and the chance to win, then we have the 2 rain days, and then then we win. It's prayed to so much. After another while the series is going on. So I really don't think I appreciate it until the past couple years, kind of throwing wine back in there. I do a lot of wine trips back to Philly, and people come up to me and they're like, "Hey, I remember where I was when you hit your home run. I was with my dad and we were hugging each other," or they were like, "Me and my brother were together," or "I remember what seat I was in at the stadium." And you realize like that moment, how special, not just my moment, but the whole World Series, like winning, and the different moments, how impacted it is on people's lives, that they actually remember who they were with, or sharing a moment with a family member. And I think that's what winds up making it more special is that, and you start to realize that as you get farther away from the game, I guess.
Did the whole thing with the rain delay and then having to come back and play, I don't remember, it was like an inning and a half or whatever you guys had to come back and play?
It was we came back in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Okay.
Jeff Jenkins led off with a double, and he knew he was hitting for 2 days.
Wow,
He knew
talk
he
about
was going to be
pressure.
leading off for 2 days. A lot
Wow.
of pressure, right?
So I mean, there's the bank. It's Citizens Bank Park, so yeah, the bank goes nuts even after 2.5 innings. But
Yeah.
I mean, how odd was that? Were you ever in a game like that before, where you had to take 2
Oh.
days off and be at the biggest game of the biggest series of the biggest probably dream that you've had since you were a little kid starting to play baseball?
I mean, the only thing that, if you really think about it, like you said, you're in a town like Philly, the unbelievable sports town. They want to win so bad. We're a couple innings from winning it all. The amount of intensity and focus into just a 2 inning. Although we did have other games left, if we would have lost, other than it being a game 7, I mean, just imagine starting a baseball game. It was nothing. You got 2 innings to go play this game, and that's it. And you've had 2 days off, so the entire bullpen's completely rested. Most of the starters, like anybody you want to throw at it, could throw at it. Obviously, the lineups have to start in a specific spot, but just the intensity, the amount of having to wait for those fans, 2 days of rain, and then coming back with just that, all of that built up, just ready to go is pretty incredible.
That's incredibly cool. I lost my train of thought here, where I was going to go with this.
Happens with age, AJ.
It does happen with
Yeah.
age. I'm definitely getting old. So after your stretch there, the Phillies cooled off and they had a dry run for a while, and then the signing of Bryce, really maybe the year before Bryce, there was some excitement when Reese came up and some things were starting to happen. When they brought Bryce in, they kind of started to take off. But I feel like now, as a guy who's really locked in on the Phils, the window's closing. Thoughts? You've been there. You've been in that window. You guys took advantage of that window. You made the most of it.
That's
He
actually
hasn't gotten that series yet.
that's really a good question. And sometimes with windows we don't know. And if I really just had to think, if you look at baseball over the past, maybe like 10 to 20 years or so, the teams that have windows, if you will, you could almost look at that. I think the best example off the top of my head would be like the Astros, right? They've had a really long window. They've been successful while there's been a lot of years where they're like, oh, the window's closing, but the window just kind of stays open. So, you look at the moves they keep doing, their guys aren't that old. I mean, some of them, I think their roster is a little bit older for the most part, but I mean, 1 through 5 on the rotation, signing Trey Turner, you got Bryce Harper, you got all these guys. And I think for me on the top of it, you have an owner that wants to win, that's really invested in the team. It's not, and fortunate for us with the 08 team, we do get to go back at sometimes and, kind of talk to him now versus just being on the field and he's the owner and that's kind of our boss and being away and getting to go back and seeing him at games and seeing his passion for the Phillies and how, like I said, he's not looking at like some owners. I'm not saying this is all owners do it. Look as, oh, this is an investment piece in my portfolio or, this is, whatever. He is super passionate and wants to win. And I do believe he's an owner that's going to try to give them the president, the GM, whoever is running it, Dombrowski now, but the ability to do what they want to be able to try to give them the best chance to win.
Well, I'm rooting for them. Let me ask you this and pivot to it. Maybe it's not as happy of a subject, but with Oakland, leaving Oakland. And I mean, you started there, you played your first 5 years there. How much of a bummer is it, or is it not a bummer at all that they're leaving the Oakland Coliseum and leaving Oakland?
I think both. I think it is and it's not at the same time, if that makes sense. I know from the player standpoint, the stadium definitely was at the bottom of the list when it comes to the league. As a visiting guy, you kind of didn't want to come in. As a home guy, you were like, you see visiting locker rooms that are better, or if you came from other places or went there after, you're like, man, this is, it really needs something else done to this place. It just needs a new stadium. I mean, so on that side is a player side to possibly be able to get a new stadium, to get all the updated amenities is a great thing. On the flip side, you look at it as, losing when you're a city and you're losing a team. I mean, you even take it farther than baseball over the last 3 years, because I live in the area now, in the Bay Area. The Raiders leave for Vegas. A couple years later, the Warriors leave, go over to San Francisco from the Oakland side, and now Oakland's leaving. So in the matter of just a few years, you're losing 3 sports teams. For a city that's that has a pretty good fan base, that's a pretty tough one to swallow.
Why did they not come out? Was it just because the stadium was such a hellhole, or I mean, was it just too run? Why did they not get the support?
That's a really good question. I mean, you could probably dive into it multiple ways. Sometimes teams don't invest the way. I mean, just until this year, the highest contract they ever had was Eric Chavez's 6 years, $66 million that they signed in like 2004 or something like that. Until they, per year, and they finally just signed. I can't remember who it was. They got like $12 million a year. So if you think about, obviously it's a lot of money, but you think of the other contracts that are being given out across the league, the money's not being reinvested. And also, I do, being in the area, I hear A's fans, if you will, start talking about, they get tired of somebody coming in. They're there for 3 or 4 years. They become to love the player, and then they're out the door. And it's just that constant revolving door of players over and over versus having, a franchise player that they can root for. And then they feel like on the flip side, they're being passionate and nothing's being reinvested to do what it's taken to win. They did have a few good years there, and they're kind of saying, like, why are we not doing more to add a piece we need to take us to the next level when we got all these young players in place, when they had, Matt Chapman and, all those guys through the years.
I mean, so many in the history of the Oakland A's, so
Yep.
many amazing, incredible Hall of Fame, just top of the top players came through there. I guess it's got to be sad as a fan. Let me pivot one more time and then go back to wine and then we'll let you go. And we appreciate your time. How much trouble are the Yankees in? I mean, Cole today, he's out for the season now with
I
Tommy
saw
John.
that. So that's a definite. I
Yeah.
saw was this morning. I had MLB Network on, and they were talking about he's getting a second opinion.
Yeah, he got it. He's getting it
He got it.
tomorrow, is what I heard.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. And you know what? Today's game, that's kind of seems like it's just a ticking time bomb waiting to go off in almost every player. I hate it for Garrett. I played with him in Pittsburgh. Great guy. Obviously, unbelievable competitor. A guy that wants to win. I think that's definitely one that hurts a little bit. You know, I do like the moves that they made. You know, obviously they went in hard for Soto and that failed. But I mean, you look at after that, I think they added, they added Freed, they added Bellinger, they added a couple, obviously the back end closer.
They spread their money around. They spent it wisely.
Exactly. Yeah, they spread their money around over 5 players versus 1, which I think is an absolutely outstanding move. You know, have a dollar amount to spend and you spend it getting better as a whole team instead of adding one player that's going to hit 3 or 4 times in a game. You know, obviously a very impactful player, but you spread that out to a whole team. I think they got better as a team, so I think that's a definite blow for them. But there's always a trade market, right? Especially this time of year. You hear it all the time. There's names on the market left and right that are, willing to be traded from some other team for prospects. And you know what? I know there's been a couple guys that have signed late, so I'm not super into that much as how many guys may be out there that could fill that hole. I know they did have some depth with Stroman coming in as well, already 5 deep, and he was kind of, quote, the odd man out, which he's had a great career. It's hard to be the odd man out when you've been that good for that long. But so that's great to have that depth, and sometimes teams do that, and that's very helpful for them, obviously.
Could be his redemption year, Stroman, with the Yankees, because he's been not so great.
But you also still look. They have Freed and Rondon on the top. Luis Hill that was rookie of the year. They have 3 top end arms still, minus him. So they're still setting in a very, very good spot.
Anything can happen in a baseball season. It's a long season, isn't it?
It is a long road. Yes.
So what do we have to do to get Sela, right? I'm saying correctly?
Yep,
Sela?
yep.
All right. So what do we have to do do we have to come to Napa and do a tour? And if we come to Napa and do a tour, can I let you know I'm in town and I'm bringing my wife? And okay.
Yep. Reach out. I'm usually here unless I'm coaching a game. I'm most of the time available. It's SelaWines.com. It's online, but with wine, my idea, I try to do something I love. It's a high-end boutique wine, we call it, where I only make 250 cases of cab from a property that I bought. That's what I started drinking. Mountain fruit when I was here toward the end of my career from super small properties, and just kind of fell in love with that vibe of wine and really wanted to kind of go down that path. Recently added Chardonnay because I do like some white wine on certain occasions when it gets warm outside with certain types of food. So I have that as well. But it's super enjoyable. Like I said, love doing it out. Never feels a place of baseball, but trying to live through the kids now to fill that void as much as possible.
That's awesome. And anybody watching this on YouTube and Facebook and Twitch and all the different locations, in the description, we've got the link to the Sela.com website. So you can go and check in. We can order right on the website, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So it's all down there. Joe, we appreciate you taking time to come on with us. Hopefully at some point again in the future, when the Phillies are in the World Series this year, you'll come back and talk to us, and maybe we can go to I was going to say the vet. We can go to Citizens Bank Park with some cases of wine and just celebrate the World Series victory with the fans.
Yeah, absolutely. I've actually done some really cool wine tastings the past couple of years when the Phillies have been in the playoffs, where I've done almost like playoffs parties where I bring some wine and sit and talk baseball and drink wine at areas in there, which is actually it's a really, really fun time. So
Nice.
Wow. This was awesome. We appreciate you joining us tonight. And
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
have a fantastic evening, guys. We'll be right back. We got a teammate, an ex-teammate. We've got Rich Hill coming up.
Rich Hill with the Dodgers. Speaking of the Dodgers again in 16.
Yeah. So have a great night, Joe. Thank you so much. Everybody sit tight. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with Rich Hill after this, okay? You're watching
care,
the Bleacher
Joe.
Brothers show.
All right.
Just smile.
I just when
smile,
everything
buddy.
went blank for a second.
Just smile, buddy. Tomorrow night, wait till you see what's coming up tomorrow night. Well, we'll get to that in a few minutes. But anyway, let's take a still figuring out these new controls. Let's take a quick break, and we will be right back.
You think that we connect, that the chemistry's correct. Your words walk right through my ears, presuming I like what I hear. Now I'm stuck in the web you're spinning. You got me for your prey. Sorry, I'm not home right now. I'm walking in this battle. If you leave a message, and I'll call you back. Intruding on what's mine, and you're taking up my time. Don't have the courage inside me to tell you, please let me be. Communication, a telephonic invasion. I'm planning my escape. Sorry, I'm not home right now. I'm walking in this battle. If you leave a message, and I'll call you back.
How good was Joe Blanton?
Man, it makes me love what I do.
Makes me love what he did.
Well, just think about it. You know, you're a fan. You just watch sports. You watch just crazy moments in sports that have happened, and then 10, 15, 20 years later, you get to talk to them about it. I mean, that's cool, man.
It is kind of cool, and again, it's before the fans, by the fans.
Right.
You can have a dream.
And it's right here on the hat.
It is right there on the hat.
Buy the merch. Buy the merch.
Well, the merch is not for sale right now,
But
it will be soon.
It's
coming. It's coming. The sad thing is, I remember those World Series, 08 and 09, but this was prior to my Philly conversion.
Right.
So I was a Yankee fan in 09. But what I remember most about that World Series in 09 is we had season tickets to the Yankees. It was the first year in the new stadium.
I remember that.
And we had season tickets at Citizens Bank Park. So we didn't go to any of the World Series games. But you want to talk about raking in the dough? I mean, we're getting like $3,000 a ticket. And I think it went 6 games that series.
Wow.
Yeah. So we basically paid for all the season, the entire season, with just the World Series.
Good.
Yeah. It was absolutely great. Now, the Phillies, I believe, have a really good shot at getting back there this year. The Yankees, you don't think the Phillies do?
And it's no disrespect to the Phillies whatsoever.
If you say the Marlins, I'm going to throw you out of here right now, and I'm taking the hat back, too.
I earned this hat. No, the Dodgers. I mean, I think that with them in the mix at all right now, you can. I don't see how you could pick any other team besides the Dodgers.
Well, we need to find out who Ohtani bet on, and then we'll know who's going to win. Obviously, last year he bet on himself, and I mean, look, you bet on yourself, you got to deliver, right?
Technically, it wasn't him.
Yeah. Did you what'd you follow this weekend on TV? Did you follow? Did you big news? First question: did you follow the Arizona? I'm not even sure what it was. The Shiners. It was the Shiners 400, I think, the NASCAR race.
Just what I saw the updates.
From Garen.
Yeah,
yeah.
Garen.
Garen did a killer job, and Garen is
always does.
Garen will be for anybody local down here in South Florida. You can go out and see Garen at the Miami Homestead because Garen's credential came through.
Oh.
And Garen is I don't want to put too much out of it, but Garen will be there, but he'll be there as NASCAR media.
I think
for
I'm going to be
Bleacher
there
Brothers.
too.
Yeah, you didn't get a NASCAR media thing though, but we'll wave to you when you're sitting all the way up at the top
It's
up
my
there.
birthday. I'm gonna have a
That's your
good time.
birthday. All right, yeah. So come out, join Junior's birthday.
Yes.
Maybe what we do is we order. This is what we got to do tonight after the show.
Mm-hmm.
You need to go online.
Salisa.
Selena.
Selena.
What?
I was just thinking about some random shit stuff.
That was the Mexican in you going straight to Selena right there. Anything for Selena.
Como la flor.
No, we need to go online and order some Sailor line.
Definitely.
I mean, it's the least that we can do. Not that us ordering a bottle of that is going to make a difference in Joe's life at all, but A, I would like to have it, and B, I would like to support what the guy's doing because for him to take the time out and come on with just basically a fan show.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
No, good. Yeah, definitely cool by him. But yeah, bring it to the East Coast. I need a bottle right here behind me so we can promote for him while we're on air.
No drinking on air unless you're Nick the Flick and it's Christmas time. Oh, and Nick the Flick will be. We had Nick the Flick coming up next week with us. We're gonna talk some fighting next week, and then Nick the Flick later this month. We're doing a whole thing at Inter Miami later this month where we're not gonna forget where we came from. Yes, we're credentialed.
Yeah.
We're credentialed with things I never even heard of when it comes to soccer right now. This I can't even say it. It's not CONCACAF. It's CONCACAF or something like that. CONCAFAC or something. But anyway, like I could have went to Jamaica tomorrow night to watch, or Thursday night with a credential. I ain't going to Jamaica with or without a credential.
With or without.
But you, me, and Nick are going to be down there on the 29th against the Philadelphia Union. And we're leaving the credentials to the other people. We're gonna be with the fans in the stands, and we're gonna be chanting and drinking and singing and just having a good old time.
As long as they sell beer, we'll be good.
And by that time, maybe Messi will be back.
I hope so.
He hasn't played now in 3 games. Yesterday, they played so horrific in the first half. They're tired because they're playing all these Champion Cup games, and then they come back to the MLS games. And so Suarez, who's no spring chicken either, has been picking up the slack while Messi's out. But what you don't see on TV that you see when you're there is this dude is limping around the field. He looks exhausted. And the first half last night, they look like the team that never played before.
Okay.
They were a mess. They turned the ball over. And I was texting with Nick, who writes all of our Inter Miami stuff, who's going to be launching the Inter Miami. I think it's called Welcome to Miami. Inter Miami Pod is what it's going to be called.
It's catchy.
Yeah, it's pretty good. We got a whole like Miami Vice sort of theme going on with the show card and the whole 9 yards there. And
no Will Smith.
Nah, I'm not a big Will Smith guy. Ever since he slapped Chris Rock in the face, I kind of lost Will Smith. Maybe what we do is we contact Phil Collins. I bet you our producer, because we've got the greatest producer in the history of producers. I bet you he can get us the rights to play the Phil Collins. We have the rights to play it on the radio app, but we want it for that pod. So
yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah, but anyway, they in the blink of an eye at the opening kickoff of the second half, first 15 seconds, they scored a goal, and that was it. Game win 1-0. And Inter Miami still has not lost the game this year.
So, like halftime, like they sucked till halftime, and then they came out after halftime and killed it.
No, they didn't kill it. They just scored 15 seconds into halftime. I mean, it was the first basically play. It was the
only play.
boom, 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 right into the goal. Yeah, I got it. Steven, I don't know if you're there, but maybe after Rich Hill, Steven, maybe you could pull that up.
Maybe at
it's on
halftime,
it's on Twitter, but I was at the other end of the pitch, so it's a really far, because I was shooting video.
Okay.
And I wasn't zoomed in. I wasn't really expecting that to happen right out of the gate. But
So I mean, it's not spoken about, but like you go into halftime, you take a shot or something to pick you up and come back out and kick ass. I mean, is that how it works?
you know what? Halftime for soccer is really quick. I mean, it's maybe 10 minutes.
Shot of adrenaline?
Maybe a shot of Sailor wine.
Sailor wine.
Could be in a little bit of chocolate, because you always have to have chocolate to go with the wine.
And then even when you say it, Sailor wine, it's almost like French or something. Sailor wine.
No, it's somewhat, you feel like you're in like a yoga, like Sailor. Sailor. I could see the commercials. Maybe
we need to get in on that.
we do need to get in on it.
I think
right
we just
there.
did the commercial.
We you know what? And
That's going to be a short.
We get Susie and Maritza out there stomping the grapes with their feet like I Love Lucy. And speaking of I Love Lucy, and this is no relation to I Love Lucy, is tomorrow night, Ricky Ricardo is coming on the show with us.
Yes.
Now, this is not that Ricky Ricardo.
Doesn't matter.
If we could get that Ricky Ricardo, that would have to get 10 zillion views. Okay. I bet you there's a way with holograms and whatnot now to do that. I mean, doesn't Michael Jackson still tour as a hologram?
Yeah, I heard. I mean, Tupac was at Coachella.
Yeah. Well, but this Ricky Ricardo is the Spanish voice of the New York Yankees. And is there another subject in baseball to talk about right now than the New York Yankees? Not because they're the Yankees, but because they got problems. They got more problems than a geometry book right now. You know what I mean? So
and all are unsolvable.
Yeah, but not only that. And where's my card? I got my card for tomorrow now. Well, let's give everybody a taste. All right. Before Ricky Ricardo, we got.
He just looks entertaining.
Right? Ricky Ricardo?
Look at him. He's like, yeah. He's like, look at these guys. Bleacher Brothers show.
No, we're talking basketball, and I mean we're talking basketball all the way back with Matt Doherty. Played with Michael Jordan.
Oof.
And yeah.
Well, we don't need it. We don't need to know anything else. But I feel bad him coming on the show, and all we ask is questions about Jordan.
No, we're not going to ask him anything about Jordan.
I'm gonna try to stay quiet then during the interview because I'm a fan, man.
You're a fan of what, Jordan?
I'm a fan of sports, and there's no better player than Jordan.
I'm gonna.
These kids try to get into with me today with the whole LeBron Jordan. It's just put it to bed. Watch some Jordan highlights. LeBron can't do none of that. LeBron, I don't know, man. 6 for 6 when it comes to NBA rings. I don't know.
LeBron's out. LeBron's out for a week now. And there's a whole thing, and we're going to talk about this tomorrow night also. Okay. Did you see all this thing with Stephen A. Smith and LeBron the other day? Yeah, we'll talk about this tomorrow night.
Okay. I'll keep it under wraps.
Because that was that's a really big deal. And then it went a step further the next day when Stephen A. went on the air, and then Dave Portnoy weighed in, and it's become this whole big, it was a big thing Friday. It's probably old news now. LeBron's out, and Bronny will continue to score a third of a point a game for the next few weeks. But,
I have my opinions on that, but like you said, we'll wait for tomorrow on that.
No, for sure. Also coming up this week, and I think I just got the confirmation on this because we've been going back and forth, and I really felt bad about going down sick on Wednesday night, but Nick Pecora is confirmed for 8 o'clock with us on Wednesday night. And Nick is Nick. We've had Nick one time before, and Nick was fantastic. But Nick is playing on the Deaf USA team, and they're playing international against 6 other teams from around the world. And Nick needs some sponsorship. So when you come to the show on Wednesday night, bring your
pocketbook.
Bring your pocketbook, because we're to sponsor this guy. This guy's a good dude. He's legit. And also, and I saw a comment in the chat earlier, and I'm not sure if he's still here, but we got to get our buddy Coach Brent on, because Coach Brent Another local guy has got the Palm Beach Capos. Are you familiar with the Palm Beach Capos?
No, it sounds like a
It's a
gang.
It's a gang. Yeah. Well, you know what? The first season they looked a lot like a gang, but they are. It's a really phenomenal story. So Brett started a team in this semi-pro league with no money, no equipment, no coaches, but he did it A, because he loves football, but B, more than that, because he loves people.
Right.
He's one of those guys that wants to give back. Do you know Brent?
I
Did you
don't.
ever meet him? I bet you've met him. I bet you guys have crossed paths.
Probably.
We call him Coach Beard. He was the original Coach Beard before Ted Lasso came on. But anyway, Coach Beard started this team, and it's basically, the long story short, is it's a semi-pro team. Has no funding, so it all comes from either the players paying themselves or fundraising.
Right.
But this is for guys that need a second chance, guys that were really good in college or high school, but maybe got hurt, or maybe they made a bad decision and they just kind of sidetracked.
Yeah.
And this is an opportunity for them to kind of get it all back. So at some point we have to, and I know that I've been following them on social, and they've been kicking some ass so far this year.
Nice. And look, I mean, we all deserve second chances. Everybody makes mistakes, you know.
Look at Luker. He's made like 4 already tonight, and we won't even let him speak.
Well, he needs to be reprimanded.
He does need to be reprimanded.
Yeah.
But I'm just kidding, Stephen. I'm just kidding. Stephen's committed. He's actually in from school. Looks like Rich might have a problem getting on here tonight.
Oh no!
But yeah, no, that's it. We got a lot for Rich if he does get on. I mean, we want to ask him about Garrett Cole because Rich had Tommy John surgery.
Yes.
We also wanted to ask him how cheated he feels and how much he hates the Los Angeles Dodgers, because not the Los Angeles Dodgers, the Houston Astros, because his Dodger team lost to the trash can banging 17 Astros. The team that Joe Girardi lost his job over. How do you take a team to the World Series and then get fired? And then they bring in Aaron Boone. I got so many problems with the Yankees. And I'm wearing a Yankee shirt tonight, but I got so many problems with the Yankees.
Anytime that you put like Aaron Boone and Solution in the same thought, I don't see it. I don't see it. You're going to take Girardi away for Boone? Sorry.
I am off. So here's some other Yankee news that for Yankee fans should find interesting. And this is something I posted on Friday night on social media, and it didn't get as much action as I thought it would. But I'm going to pull this up real quick.
All right.
So Don Mattingly, one of the greatest Yankees of our generation. Okay. Let me pull X up right here and find this. We went back. Sometimes we do this on X if it's a slow night and we're looking for something to talk about. 1980s, best first baseman in 1980s. So it's easy to say, oh, Keith Hernandez was the best first baseman of the 1980s, or all right. So Rich is working on it. He's having an issue, but he's working on it, and he'll be here shortly. And Chris, thank you so much. We have the absolute. I mean, we get the diamond of producers. You realize that, don't you?
No, absolutely. Shout out Chris Visser. Love him, man.
But what I did is I took Don Mattingly's stats. I mean, I looked this up because everybody can have an opinion, but this was backed up by stats. And so anyway, what got me talking about this right now is that Mattingly just signed back with the Yankees as some sort of defensive coach. But here's Don Mattingly's stats in the 1980s. Okay, rookie in '83. All right, so let's pretend 83 didn't happen. Okay, 84, 343, 23, 110, 44 doubles. Also won the batting title. 85, 324, 35, 145. Also 48 doubles. American League MVP.
Wow.
86, 352, 31 home runs, 113 RBIs, 53 doubles. That's sick, dude. 574 slugging, 967 OPS, 87, 327, 30, 115, 38 doubles. 1988, and this is where his back started to go out. 311, 18 home runs, 88 RBIs, 37 doubles. 1989, 303, 23 home runs, 113, 37 doubles. Find me better stats by any first baseman. And what I don't have on here is all the Gold Gloves that he won. The bummer with Mattingly is the World Series ring still eludes him because he retired after the 95 season, and 96 is when they started winning the World Series again. And then Joe Torre brought him on as a bench coach at one point after Zim.
I remember that.
And then they didn't win the World Series during that time. And then Mattingly left because Mattingly was up for the job when Torre got tossed out.
Right.
And they went with Girardi, who I was heavily against Girardi because I thought Mattingly deserved that job. And they gave it to Girardi. Mattingly ended up hey, Chris, you have it also, Chris, if you know that. I copied you on that, but I will do my best here while I do this. Go
In
ahead,
the
June.
sports
I'm going to try
world,
to.
right?
Mhm.
Are you saying Mattingly is the baseball version of Dan Marino? Is that what I'm hearing?
No, because Mattingly never cried and complained.
Well, you're talking
yeah.
about best stats for somebody who never won a ring.
Yeah, I guess so. But
All
hey,
right.
let's move on because we got Rich here and
Okay.
we're excited about getting Rich on. So, Rich Hill, we've got man, Rich played for a lot of 13 teams, 20 years majors. You know what? There's a good chance that he didn't get on initially because he's on the phone today with the Yankees, because I'm sure the Yankees are calling a lot of people right now. And
Yeah.
Rich, did you get a call from the Yankees today?
How are you guys doing?
We're doing great. How are you?
Sorry, I was lapse in memory. I was must have been daylight savings that got me off course.
No, that's all right. That's all good. How are you these days?
Good, doing well, thanks. Yeah, everything's going well. Just here in Massachusetts. Just finished cooking dinner, and yeah, I see a lot of openings happening during spring training, which I think is the case for pretty much every spring training where injuries are going to happen. Unfortunately, that's the bane of the athlete. But on my behalf and what I've been doing is just staying ready and throwing and if an opportunity arises, which I hope it does, I'll be able to step in and start pitching again.
Is there an opportunity that you hope doesn't call? Say like I don't know, like the Marlins. Everybody know, it's like Marlins. I don't know. I'll get back to you.
No, there really isn't. I would pitch anywhere right now. I think this would be it. I think this would be probably I'll be 45 tomorrow, actually.
Wow.
So I think
Happy
that
birthday.
would probably be my last year playing, whatever capacity that would be. But I mean, I'm throwing the ball great. The ball's coming out of my hand tremendously. So I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't think that I could go out there and actually help a team win. So I think in the other side of it, with I just got done pitching for Team USA 3 months ago now, but had a really good tournament for 3 games, 2 games in Mexico and 1 game against Team Japan in the Tokyo Dome, which went really well. So and the ball came out of my hand great in all 3 of those games. So I think that was an indication that okay, there's something here, and it also kind of reinvigorated my ability to be able to perform at the highest level. Last year, coming back and being able to do exactly what I wanted to do, be home here and coach our son for his last year of Little League and all of his buddies that he's been playing with for the last 4 years, and be a part of that was tremendous. And then get the opportunity to get back to the big leagues with the Red Sox out of the bullpen was great as well. But it's definitely, the bullpen is not my animal. So definitely built for starting.
Now Junior, the co-host here, is a
Yes.
huge Cincinnati Reds fan, and you were drafted by the Reds. Is that correct?
Right. Yeah. Drafted by the Reds all the way back in '99. So yeah, that would be a great landing spot. I think that division is wide open. I was actually talking to a couple of my buddies with the Pirates over there in Pittsburgh, and I said, it's kind of theirs to lose a little bit, I think, with that starting rotation. But That's why we play 162. So we'll see.
Well, we take another arm in there for sure.
Yeah.
Rich, question though, like, we're the same age, and I can move wrong in the day, and the next day I can't move.
Yeah.
He takes better care of himself than
I
you do,
know,
bro.
but how many ice baths does this man take is what I want to know,
Look,
because
yeah.
I know you got to feel it.
Well, no, there are definitely days where, I feel it where, where I felt it, Junior, was in my knees this off season a little bit, where I was like, oh, I haven't felt that in a while, or at all. So, that was something that was new. But yeah, I've been fortunate. I think I got kind of, I guess a little bit of the genetic lottery of being able to feel pretty good, for my age, and for the most part, I hate to say this because it gets so important as you get older, but stretching has always been something that I've been able to be pretty fortunate to have the mobility, the flexibility, you know, as I get out of bed every day. So I take those, and I know that is, few and far between. So I take those every day that I can get, where I get out of bed and I start moving around. I feel good, and I can get right into, swinging a golf club, or, even throwing a baseball. I've been fortunate in that regard. So I know what you're saying though, because there have been a couple days here and there. Back-to-back days, maybe on the golf course.
Wait until you guys hit my age. I mean, literally everything that you do as a youth, for everybody watching, you will pay for it one day. You will absolutely pay for it.
Yeah.
So growing up in Mass, and then you played 6 years with the Red Sox. How cool was, and that's kind of where you started, right? Was with the Red Sox?
Yeah, I started with the Red Sox. Yeah, well, no, I shouldn't say that I started with the Red Sox. I started with the Cubs in 2002, and then got called up in 2005. Played with them. Got traded to the Orioles in 2008, and in 2009, I've played for 13 teams in the big leagues and 15 organizations. The only two teams that I didn't make it up to the big leagues with were the St. Louis Cardinals and the Washington Nationals. And I think it was kind of fortuitous that I didn't make it up with either one of those teams, because with both of those teams, I went to AAA out of spring training, and in our contracts, you can have outs in your contract, and the player has the ability to opt out of the contract after, I think 6 years, or actually 6 years of minor league service, or when you have, I believe it's maybe once you get called up to the big leagues, it kind of wipes out the minor league service. So I had major league service, which gave me the freedom and the ability to be able to leave both of those teams. But at each time, we left St. Louis, and when I left St. Louis, we were in Memphis, and I was nervous because we had the option in 2000. This was in 2010. To leave, and I didn't see any movement happening, and that was the year where I transitioned into the bullpen, and we took the out, and we're driving back to Massachusetts, and we got a call from the Red Sox. So that was the first time that I joined the Boston Red Sox, and actually called up in September that year with that team, and that was just a great kind of moment, because it was your hometown team for me, and getting the opportunity to play for the Boston Red Sox for the first time for Terry Francona, and a lot of guys on that team like David Ortiz, Jason Varitek, Jonathan Papelbon, a lot of guys from the World Series championship teams, going all the way back to I guess being able to have the opportunity to play with Nomar Garciaparra with the Chicago Cubs as well. But a lot of this kind of overlapping of generations and players that I grew up watching, and then being able to wear the same uniform with them and be teammates with them was incredible. I don't know, blessing. And just, the other time with the Washington Nationals was in 2015. And, had I not taken the out from Washington, I would have never probably started again. If the Washington Nationals had called me up into the bullpen, I have no idea what direction my career would have went, but that was, I know where it took me with that second out with the Washington Nationals in 2015, and landed in a much better spot as far as where I needed to be ability wise, and how I could contribute to a team and be able to just make the most out of my abilities.
I got a couple of bullet questions for you here, because I'm looking at the list of teams that you played for and the places that you've played. And me being a huge baseball fan, that's my sport. I mean, I like them all, but I grew up addicted to baseball.
Yeah.
And I grew up a Yankee fan when I was young. An old Yankee Stadium, there was nothing like it. But that being said, I've never been to Fenway. I've never been to Wrigley. I've never been to this new stadium in Pittsburgh.
Oh, it's
How
beautiful.
gorgeous is that stadium?
Beautiful. It's gorgeous. Yeah, it's truly one of the nicest stadiums. The way they set it up, the way every seat is turned towards home plate for the fans. The backdrop of the Clemente Bridge, and then being able to see the skyline of the city of Pittsburgh. It's great. I mean, and that fan base, they've been waiting for a really good season for a long time. So I hope they get it this year with that starting rotation that they got. But you got to go to all three of those. You got to get those in. Fenway, let me know. Well, maybe if you need any help getting tickets, I know a few people.
That would be beautiful. So let me ask you this. I don't want to put you on the spot, especially after you said that, but Fenway or Wrigley, what would give somebody goosebumps more? Because these are the two icons of stadiums that are left now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, Dodger Stadium though too.
And that's on your list too. And I've been to Dodger Stadium. It's nice, but I don't know.
I think it's probably nicer for the player because it gives such a good visual when you look at the stadium. It's just perfectly symmetrical, like everything, and it just gradually goes up, and then everybody just kind of disappears up in that. I think it's 4 levels. I think there's a 4th level up there, if I'm correct. But yeah, I would say the one that gives me the goosebumps is Fenway. Wrigley gave me the goosebumps before they made all the renovations and put, all the scoreboards in and everything. I think, the first year that I played there, actually in 2006, I think was the first year they had an advertisement in the stadium itself, and that was Under Armour came in and one of the doors and put their out in the outfield in the ivy. But anyway, my point is that now the bullpen, it's probably for the better with the scoreboards and everything, but it still has the nostalgic type of feel with the ivy and the organ music playing. I would say, you're kind of splitting hairs between both of them, but they're both great stadiums. And to me, when they redid Wrigley and they redid the clubhouse, both sides. So, thinking back, like the tunnel that weaved all the way up on the visitor side, or the tunnel that would weave up going up to the home locker room, and just kind of the locker rooms that have all these palatial kind of, whatever you need as a player is in these locker rooms.
Well, the amenities.
Yeah, the amenities. Thank you. Gotta dive into my wordsmith, but so we had one side that was just a small little weight room, and then the other side was the kitchen, and the clubbies would cook breakfast in the morning. It's just so neat, just the stuff that, now you have chefs, and you have, obviously, we had strength and conditioning coach, but you have multiple strength and conditioning coaches. You have, you have dietitians, you have, just an endless amount of resources for the players. But, back then it was nice how simple it was. I think that was one thing that, it's nice that you have the amenities now and the ability to, have all those outlets to make that player the best that they can be without any excuses. But it is funny when you think back to, or for me anyway, that there was very
Stone Ages of baseball.
Well, it makes sense, I think, because like you don't have to go home. Everything you need is here.
Yeah.
Let's get it done. We can watch, we can oversee. Whereas before, you let people go home, they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. You know, you're not getting you're not maximizing the potential, I think, of the person. But I think by putting all those amenities into the building, you're really maximizing it because you're controlling the narrative and how they work out and making sure they do all that.
My
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
theory is Alex Rodriguez was the reason that they started making these clubhouses like this, because I pictured Alex always in trouble with his wife,
Mm-hmm.
so he couldn't go home. So they had to build these great big clubhouses for him to hang out. And I don't know. I like Alex Rodriguez. I'm just playing. So
No.
two things I want to ask you before we let you go. A, you had Tommy John surgery.
Twice. So I had 2011. I had Tommy John surgery, and that was just the traditional. Went down to Dr. Andrews and had the traditional, palmaris taken out from my wrist in my forearm area and replaced in my elbow. And then in 2019, I was 39, and I think I pitched most of the season with a detached UCL, the proximal side of my elbow, and I ended up having the internal brace in 2019, and then made it back in 2020, and was the first player, to my knowledge, or what I've been told, was the first player to get back to the big leagues with the internal brace and pitch successfully. So that was incredible. Again, even we talk about the locker rooms and the amenities and what's available for the players, but just sheer access to the healthcare that is available, and just the strides that are being made for things like the internal brace. I mean, I was back in 3 months throwing, at full capacity. So it's pretty amazing when, if we start trying to push the boundaries and seeing what is available with something like this internal brace, if it happens during the year. So, for example, like I feel that if a position player had to have it, let's say right now in spring training, they could come back in August. They would be back for before the season ended, which is, I
It's
don't know.
kind of like
to me,
what Bryce Harper did.
Yeah. So I think that some of these advances that are being made, and they've been around. I know that the internal brace was used for different UCLs in the body, thumb and ankle, and different areas. But I was fortunate to be a benefactor of it, and still feel great to this day. So at 45.
You look great for 45.
He's-
You look 31 or 29.
Superhuman.
Yeah, I mean
He's like an
he's
Avenger.
ready to-
This
So-
guy.
All right, so let me bring. We've talked about all feel good stuff right now, but let me bring up something that might not be feel good. 2017, you make it to the World Series,
Yep.
and you guys go against the trash can banging Astros.
Yeah.
And why is his name escaping me? Cashman.
I know where you're going.
Cashman will not stop talking about how the Yankees were cheated by the Astros that year in the ALCS.
Mm-hmm.
You guys played them in the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
Does it bother you?
Well, yeah. I mean, of course, of course it does, because I think the culmination of and especially as I've gone through my career and understanding why we play this game, we play it to win, and you don't play it for money, you don't play it for accolades, but when you get an opportunity to play in the World Series and you get to see what it comes down to the final two teams, and there's really no, there's nothing to lose when you're playing, and this is, you realize this is why we play this game. It gets to you as a human being. So I think that obviously over time it's kind of worn off a little bit more, but at the same time I would have liked to have seen the commissioner nulligate the award for that 2017 year. I think that would have been the correct thing to do and move on. And look, we all make mistakes, things happen, and whatever. I'm not putting pointing the finger or putting any individual at blame, or whatever happened. People get caught up, and the one thing that I do feel is that some of the players that haven't gotten a chance to pitch again or get back to the big leagues after that 2017 year, because of their kind of overexposed to, the hitters knowing what was coming, right? So, any pitcher, it's hard enough to pitch at the big league level, but it's really hard when the hitter knows what's coming. And I've been in that situation before, not as far as direct signs being told, but from tipping, or if I'm tipping my pitches, if I'm tipping my fastball or my curveball, if I'm if I'm showing my glove to the runner at second base, and he's able to see where my fingers are on the ball, relaying the message to the hitter. And that's all cat and mouse stuff. That's stuff that's all fair game, but real time, when what's coming, that's, now we've just gotten into we've removed ourselves from the gray area, and we've gotten into a bad spot. So
I imagine it's got a sting when you lose the World Series, but then
Yeah,
as time
yeah.
went on and this information started to come out, does it feel like that it's just dragging on? Like we want to get past this sting, but now maybe it goes from disappointment to more aggravation to anger to, like
I
what are
mean-
all the stages of a breakup type of thing?
I guess, but I just think that it's like, what are you going to do? What can you do? And I think that left in the powers that be, they made the decision that was probably what they felt would save the face of baseball, maybe, instead of maybe making the decision that would have been appropriate. And I think that, nulligating just having no championship that year, I think would have been probably the right way to go. I know that, you talk to any of the guys that are on the Dodger team and with me, and everybody's not happy about it. But at the same time, it's, you can't carry, this 1,000-pound baggage around with you and be pissed off all the time. It's just kind of you got to move forward and hopefully, this changed a lot of things for the game, and it brought in PitchCom, which has been great. I think that's one thing that has been able to alleviate some of the sign stealing that was going on. Although I did enjoy it. I should say I did enjoy the ability for hitters to be able to figure out, what the pitcher was using from second base. It took a little bit of, initiative and a little bit more kind of paying attention to what was going on as far as, and for us as pitchers, is like, how stupid are we to continue to use the same signs and not think that the guys are going to pick them from second base? So, it just added another level of mastery into the game to me. That's what I thought. That's the way I looked at it, was, before PitchCom, was just being able to think like, you talk to other pitchers and guys that had really elaborate sign calling and their ability to be able to change it on the fly was really cool. But yeah, I think from the circumstance of, do I wish it was different? Yeah, I guess. I do. Because again, being part of 2 World Series and multiple postseason runs, you get to sit there in the dugout and watch the other team run out onto the field and jump up and down. That's pretty tough. So, I can clearly remember not the last time I was in the playoffs, but in 2019, watching the then Washington Nationals, who won the World Series in 2019. I was out in the bullpen for emergency if I needed to come in, but watching their team come out onto Dodger Stadium, and you could hear a pin drop, and I couldn't even hear them screaming and yelling from the bullpen in left field. That's how quiet it was. But then it was almost like somebody was yelling and they weren't making any sound, but you could just see the joy of the team jumping up and down and wondering what that was like.
Here's my wish. And so we had Matt Joyce on last week, who was a great guy, and he's doing Tampa Rays pregame and postgame now. And the Rays have to play this season in the Yankees minor league stadium because they don't have a stadium. So we said, how great would it be if the Rays and the Yankees end up in the ALCS and Game 7 is played in Steinbrenner Field and the Rays beat the Yankees in their own stadium?
Yeah.
So you get signed by the Rays, and then you end up facing the well, no, that wouldn't work. That wouldn't work. I blew the whole thing out.
Yeah.
Never mind. Never mind. My whole thing. I had you going against the Dodgers and beating the Dodgers, but our problem's not the Dodgers. Our problem's the Astros. So I just want you to get in there and just zing Altuve or one of those guys. Wherever you at.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I think I've been able to play with a couple of those guys, Marwin Gonzalez, and a few other guys that were on that team. And I, look, I don't think they're proud of what happened or what went on, but again, I think that the decision was put in the offices of Major League Baseball, and I think that they could have made a better decision. That's what I think. And moving forward after that, it's like, I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at it from too much of a kid glove type of situation, but
you're a better person than a lot of people that are still bent out of shape about this. Like Brian Cashman, still all these years later, is talking about how the Yankees should have won the World Series that year, but they didn't lose the World Series. They lost the ALCS, so they still would have had to go against you guys. And
I don't know. We had that was the best team I think I've ever been on. So that 2017 Dodger team was one hell of a team. It was unbelievable. I think we won 107 games that year, and that was kind of the birth of Cody Bellinger, and it was pretty amazing squad. But I mean, maybe somewhere in an alternate universe, we played a World Series against each other.
Where can we? Is there?
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe
in the multiverse, because you're an Avenger, right? Remember?
Yeah.
But
the other thing is you're going to have two teams that are playing in AAA stadiums. I mean, if you want to call Steinbrenner Field a big league, it's fine, but it's still a AAA stadium or an A-ball stadium or whatever. It's a 10,000 seat stadium. It's to me, that's what's kind of concerning for baseball for this season and for the next couple of years, because who knows when Tampa's field will be completed, and when will the Oakland Athletics / Las Vegas Athletics / who knows what they're going to be called are going to be ready. So I've had a lot of things that are about the health of the game and where the game is going for the future of it, cutting the draft, cutting minor league teams, cutting opportunities for jobs, not only for baseball players, but also for front office, for vendors, for media, for general managers to learn and to understand how to work within the game and work their way up in the game. And then also for the fans. You're in Boise, Idaho. I don't know how many people from Boise, Idaho are going to be able to get the opportunity to make their way to San Francisco to watch a Giants play, or down to LA, or even Oakland, or wherever Oakland's going to be. So that's where you get to see these players come through. Let's say like a Mookie Betts or whoever it might be, the next superstar, and say, wow, I got to watch him in short season or A-ball, or in Provo, Utah, I got to see Kyle Schwarber. I don't know, but now we're missing those opportunities, and I think time will tell, and I hope that it is in favor of this decision, but I really don't think it's going to be.
If Garrett Cole gets this internal brace, can he pitch this year? Is it a possibility?
It's a possibility, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I talked with guys that had it before me. Brandon Geyer, obviously he was an outfielder. Seth Manis, who was a relief pitcher at the time with St. Louis Cardinals. I had called both of those guys because they were two guys that had the internal brace. Both of them had rave reviews to say about it, and Seth Manis said he was throwing bullpens in, I think it was 2.5 or 3 months. Wow. So, and but to put it in context, he was throwing bullpens in 2.5 and 3 months to be able to, showcase for a job. So I know that that's not the case with Garrett, but need be, yeah. I mean, look, I was back in throwing to hitters in 6 months, so I think it's definitely something that could possibly, and that was COVID. Everything was a little bit pushed back, I think it could definitely be something that would be
All right, so
possible.
look, everybody that's watching and listening to this on the Bleacher Brothers Sports Network and all our streaming channels, Rich is ready. Right? You're ready to get out there. You're ready to.
Yeah.
So if it's the Yankees, if it's the Rays,
The
if it's
Reds.
the Reds, don't
Yeah.
go to the Mets. We don't want you to go to
Yeah,
the Mets.
no.
The Mets are the Mets are going to Met, so you don't want to go to the Mets. But you've been already on the Mets, and I don't know if they metted when you were there or not. But where can we follow you? Are you active on social? Is there anywhere? Are you on X or Instagram? Nowhere.
I have no thumbprint.
All right. Well, and the last thing is,
well, I mean, I'm on Instagram at Rich J Hill, but it's private. I gotta work on my social media output, because I think it would be a lot of fun to. One thing that I would like to do is help younger players and help players reach their maximum, their potential and their abilities. Really, in my opinion, 90% of it's between the ears. So especially as whatever level you're at, but. So that might be my next endeavor on social media to help players with some messaging during the day.
we appreciate you coming on tonight. We appreciate you taking time. Do you drink wine at all ever?
Yeah, a little bit.
I don't know if you know this, but we just had your former teammate Joe Blanton on, and he's got Sailor Wine now.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
yeah, so he's invited. The way I heard it is you invited me up to Fenway, and you'll hook me up with somebody who can hook me up with a seat on the Monster, and then if we get him involved, we can all be up there with a bottle of Sailor, and we'll just have a really good time. Or hopefully we're rooting for you while you're pitching.
Yes.
That would be even better.
Yeah, he was a great teammate. Oh my gosh, he was so intense. I loved playing with Joe. I was always, when we watch him pitch when he was starting across the from the dugout or whatever, I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's intense. And then playing with him with the Dodgers, I didn't know what to expect. But when he's not in, what would you say, full Avenger mode, he's a great guy, and what a tremendous teammate.
One other teammate question, and I promise you this is it. But we asked Matt Joyce the other night because he played for Tampa, and Manny Ramirez was with Tampa for 5 games that year before he got popped and got kicked. But we asked him, we said, what was it like playing with Manny for 5 games? And he told us a great Manny story. Were there any great Manny stories that you have that are not, because you played with Manny at Boston for a little while?
No, I didn't play with Manny.
He was already traded. He was already out when you got there.
Yeah, he was not there when I was there. Yeah, I'd heard some good Manny stories though.
I'm sure you got Poppy stories, but the next time, let's hopefully there will be a next time, and that you'll come back, because we had a blast having you on. And
no, thank you guys for having me. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I really appreciate you guys having me on.
We wish you. Look, I wish to be watching you in a stadium somewhere, and Wrigley or Pittsburgh or Boston, any one of those. I would love to come. I'll come see you anywhere.
I wouldn't. Yeah, like I said, I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't think that it was something that I could do, and not just do it for. I'm not doing it for fun. I'm doing it to win. So I think that's one thing that, with the experience and the way that I feel coming off, a good run with Team USA, we'll see what happens, but definitely ready to go.
Rich, we wish you the best. Thank you so much. And we look forward
to you guys.
Back in the
Thank
future.
you for having me.
Rich.
Everybody sit tight.
Guys.
We'll be back with more Bleacher Brothers show in just a couple of minutes here.
Knock it out. Got to have a celebration. Rock my soul.
Damn, bro, you can't sneak up on anybody, man. You're the noisiest guy. I figured, all right, let me turn your headphones back on and
I gotta be comfortable, dude. I gotta be comfortable.
cat burglar is definitely not in your future. That's for sure.
I'm not trying to rob anybody.
And remember, guys, tomorrow night you do not wait. Tonight's show was epic. I mean, I don't know who I liked more, and I felt like we were gonna spend 3 hours with each one of these guys. And
Oh yeah.
now my wife is going to be pissed at me because she always wants to go to Northern California, and I said no, we've been there, done that.
Yeah.
But now I want to go back and get some Sailor. But we're going to order some Sailor wine anyway.
Yeah, I want
but,
Sailor.
but that would be kind of cool. And you got to get the Fenway. Remember, tomorrow night you do not want to miss the show.
Right.
Matt Doherty, we're going to talk college hoops, March Madness. Junior's going to throw in a Michael Jordan question.
I Love Lucy.
Well, no, we're not going to go I Love Lucy, but Ricky Ricardo, I mean, we've got so much to talk about. And not just the Yankees, it's the Spanish voice of the Philadelphia Eagles also.
So he's got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
He looks like he's just going to be animated and excited. We should maybe bring Nick to flick him tomorrow.
No, I asked Nick. I thought about it, and I
Yeah.
talked to Nick, but Nick, I decided against it for tomorrow night. But Nick wasn't sort of aware. So here's what we're gonna do, all right? Because we had to scratch this the other night.
Oh, we're doing it?
So yeah, we're
Man,
gonna
I'm
do
not
this,
ready.
man. We are gonna.
Oh.
We're gonna see who knows their golfers better because we and we got Chef Tom. So let's get Chef Tom in here. Chef Tom is all teed up, as you can see.
Damn, look, is that a legal ball?
That is.
It certainly is.
Are you sure it's weighted out correctly, sir?
I got Thing helping me out tonight. Thing's joining the show. Thing, come on, man. Not my eyes, dude.
There is
Stay with
so
your eye.
much on a slow night. We don't have any slow nights anymore, though, because we have we've been blessed with Chris, and yeah, there are no slow nights. But on one night, Tom, there will be a slow night. There's a lot that we need to question you about.
Oh,
A
shit.
massive heart attack. How
Yep.
many cigarettes have you smoked this weekend? Tell the truth.
I don't know. I'm not going to
Oh.
lie. I did smoke,
Oh,
but I'm I'm below 5 a day. I
below
was
5 a
smoking 2
day.
packs a day.
How many did the
And I
heart
made a
doctor
promise.
recommend
I
today?
made a promise to my granddaughter by Friday. I will no longer smoke, and I don't break my promises, especially to her.
All right.
Oh.
This sounds like another pool. Where we have a death pool going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
What's today's date?
2025.
Today's
Whoa.
date is the 10th, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
I got
you already
going
lost.
another 35. No, I got you going another 35 days, buddy. I got you
Oh,
for
okay.
another 35 still kicking.
Okay.
All right. And there's
Yeah.
a girlfriend now too. There's all kinds of
Wait
stuff
a
we got to find out.
minute.
No, we don't
Lady
have time
friend.
tonight. So
Lady friend.
what's
Not
that? Lady
officially.
friend. Okay, lady friend. So now I got to figure out how to get these things on. All right. So we've got some clips. So even though we didn't get you in to give us your picks for the Arnold Palmer, we'll get you in later this week for what's coming up next week. Okay, you good with that?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's creepy the way but here's the thing with his green screen.
Yeah.
It works. Like it doesn't look cheesy. Tom knows
that-
what he's doing with the
that
green screen.
Does look like thing.
That is
That thing
definitely-
keeps bothering me.
And the hand looks normal too.
It's actually my lady friend.
It's like thing, and then the
Got
guy.
ugly
who's green.
fingers, doesn't she?
yeah. She got what was that Seinfeld episode? Man hands. All right.
Yeah, man
so-
hands.
All right. So let's see. So Steven unfortunately cannot, because Steven is so committed that he's still at work tonight
Mm,
and he can't talk and he's pointing at me. You're giving me sign language.
I think he's flicking you off, AJ.
You can talk.
I think it's different. He's flicking you off.
Let's see what's going on here with
Got
Steven.
thing doing some sign language here, man.
But you can talk, Steven?
Yes, I'm back home.
Oh, you're back home. Boy, this guy is like.
Oh,
he's like
dude, you got a
Superman.
job? Yeah.
Yeah. We can't get into all that now, and I don't know how many things we can put on the screen here at one time. So this is where
Where's his bot robot thing?
this is where the show goes downhill. But all right. So anyway, let's do this in a couple minutes here. How well do we know our golfers? So Junior went out to the what was that called? The
Coherent Classic.
the Coherent Classic.
Yes.
The
Coherent
Cognizant.
Classic.
The Cognizant.
Oh my
Well,
bad.
he
My
was coherent. All right, I'm gonna get rid of Steven here.
Is
'cause
he
we're looking at his crotch.
I just
So,
saw his
Yeah,
phone.
and his
how
bomb.
well
And
do you
his
know your
bomb.
golfers? So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna pull this up. Let me see if I go. Yeah, there we go. So who is this?
Hang on, I can't see his face. Now that is not from the PGA. That is from the
The
was
Arnold
that from
Palmer
the-
Classic right here.
Oh, okay. So that's that was from the warm up round.
That's not Zach Blair.
Zach Blair? No, that's one
No.
incorrect for Junior.
Who?
That's one incorrect. I said for Junior.
Okay, well, I'm not even going to guess, so I don't get it.
Well,
You gotta guess. You gotta say a name.
Straka.
Straka. Yes, Straka. Is that what you said?
Yeah, Straka.
You know
Straka.
what?
Yes.
No, hell no. If he's that good with all that, man, he's got Google back there.
Yeah, but that was from the practice
Yeah.
round on Wednesday.
Doesn't matter. It's who. It's. This is
All right,
not
no worries,
you
man.
know
I'm
the played.
I'm
and
still
this
going to
is-
kick his butt.
Doesn't matter.
I may be almost dead, but I'm not dead.
Do you
Right.
know what we do now with Chris Visser and credentialed with CONCACAF? Who else do you know that's credentialed with CONCACAF?
Yeah, it sounds like a gas station.
It
Yeah,
does
what's
sound like a
CONCACAF?
gas station. That's where Luch and Joe Ulrich used to work at CONCACAF. All right, Henry, I'm gonna give you an easy one now.
All right.
All right.
All right,
Tom,
Junior, I'll let you go first.
All right, Junior, you get to go first here. Okay. So let's see. How do I do this? All right.
1-1. Steve Stricker.
No.
Is that Rory?
Yes, Rory McIlroy.
All right.
I wasn't looking at. I can't really see it. Hang on, let me
Yeah,
zoom
all
it
right.
in.
Well, you
How do I
also said
zoom in?
was
Oh,
gonna
there
go
we go. I
first.
found the zoom in button. Oh yeah, that's Rory for sure.
Yeah, you can tell.
Probably, Tom. All the cigarette tar on your glasses is.
Yeah, hang on. Let me clean this shit off. Hang on a second.
All right. This
All
is
right,
a
I got
PG show, Tom. All right. This is.
I'm sorry.
not
Let me
the,
clean this stuff off. Oh, there we go. I can see again.
All right. So
Hang
are
on,
you
I
ready
should've
for
had-
this next one?
I should have had Thing do it.
So we got 1-1 right now. Okay.
Yeah, 1-1. I should have kept my mouth. Okay, good.
All right. They're gonna get harder from here. Okay.
No problem. I'm game. I'm game.
How many more do we have? We've got
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. Okay. All right. So here we go.
Oh, I know.
Oh shit! Hang on.
Shit. That is,
Oh shit! That's Scotty Scheffler.
no way. What are you talking about, bro?
The scruffy beard looks like Scotty. Oh, that's definitely not Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, who is it? Go ahead. Give
That's
it
the
away.
teeth. Tagala.
Tagala, yes, but you already missed. So
Yeah, I know, but I
All right,
was
I'm gonna
looking
go
at
with
the scruffy
Tagala.
beard.
2 points.
you know what?
Did I get at least a half? Hang on, I should get at least like a half a point because
2-1.
know.
Tom.
There we
2-1.
go. And we forgot our game show music here. So the game show music. All right. Next one's a little bit harder. Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut until Junior screws it up.
Yeah, I'll
All right,
definitely
here we
screw it up.
Here
Don't worry
we
about
go.
that. Oh yeah, I know.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Hold on.
Oh, that's
Bagger Vance,
Bagger Vance, yes, Bagger Vance for the
3-1?
point. Yes,
3-1.
Bagger Vance.
3-1, Junior.
I thought that was going to be a really hard one. Okay.
Oh man, but that's not a professional golfer, man.
I never said professional. I said, how well do you know your golfers?
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Okay, all right,
But
all
so
right.
whose turn is it now? Because I'm going to give you guys an easy one. I'm going to give you a layup.
That's such a crappy swing.
All right. Are you ready?
Oh, what a bad swing.
Hey, that's Jason Bourne. Trade his face.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
let's
if you
go.
get the hole in one, that's BS.
I'm feeling
This is my turn, Junior.
No, you
That's
win
my
ahead of
turn.
me. 4-1.
Happy Gilmore, baby.
Yes, Junior. Yeah, you did scream out a turn, Junior.
He
So.
screamed out a turn on mine.
Now, who is the other golfer standing there with the tour manager?
McGuire.
No, not
Oh,
McGuire.
Jude McGavin?
Peter McGavin. Well, what was the coach's name?
Oh, the Chubbs.
Chubbs, yes. Chubbs.
Shoulders to push the ball, not your arms.
And
Don't
the
break the
caddy?
That's before he got his new caddy.
Just like
Caddy, I'm not
confusing
sure.
me. Just let me put the
All right, let me go back here for a second.
All right, 4-2 if I'm keeping score correctly.
All right. So we got 2 more here. These are going to get a little bit harder. All right.
Damn it.
All right. Let me make sure there's only
And
2
Tom, I
more.
tried to bribe him for the answers before the game.
I know you already told
He
me
did.
that.
He did. Yeah, he tried. I wasn't
He
having
wasn't
it.
done. He's sorry.
And I'm gonna tell you, where can you bet on this action?
A Hard Rock. I just bet. I already got my bets in for this weekend.
Tom, you're gonna get
Oh,
kicked off the
yeah.
show permanently.
Terrible.
Oh,
All right?
okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
college
seriously,
hoop.
dude.
Better.
Better. BETR. All right. Props, fantasy,
Oh, that's right.
basketball, baseball, all of them. They're all there. And if you use the code Bleacher Bet, you don't even have to use our link. You can use our link. It's in the bio down here in the description of this video. But if you don't use our link, when they ask you what your code is, just use Bleacher Bet. And here's what you do. If you kind of like somebody, just go all in. Go 250 on your first bet. If you lose, they'll give you the 250 back.
Might as well.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
you go wrong there?
Oh,
Hard rock.
man. I'm going to do that.
You're,
for the
you're on
PGA.
suspension,
Yeah. You need to get hit by that
No,
club.
no, I'm definitely. If they got PG, I'm better. I'm hitting it.
All right. Let me
You
get
gotta
the
have
next
player
one here. All right, this is a little bit harder. This one, okay?
Okay, we just yell out the answer. Who actually gets it first?
No, I believe it's my turn.
Kevin Costner.
No, that's not the golfer's name.
Oh my
Don't
God.
be googling it.
Cheech Marin.
No, it's not Cheech. Cheech is the caddy.
I've seen this
It's
movie
over.
a million times. I
Yes.
can't believe I can't remember his name.
Man.
Oh, come on. I have no idea.
Roy McAvoy.
Oh man.
Do I get a half point for
No. If you would have said John Dutton, I would have given you a half a point.
All right, so it's actually by default we don't need to even ask the last question. Winner, ding 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 ding, he can't win. Or
Well-
3 junior.
Well, 10 points for this last answer right here.
Oh, that's
Who's in there? What's the score?
it's 4-2.
4-2, Junior's leading.
Oh, whoa.
And this one is going to be hard, I think.
Tom, I'm gonna let you take it because you can't win.
And you're all going to go when you see it, but you need golfer's name.
I'll never get this.
I know his first name is Billy, but I can't remember his last name.
Can you name any of the golfers' names? What's the judge's name?
Billy. His name is Billy.
What was the judge's name?
The judge?
Was it Judge Small?
I saw this movie like a week ago.
I think it was Judge Small.
I think
Judge
Tom's
Small.
good movie.
You're right, Judge Small.
And what was Chevy's name and Rodney's name?
Oh my gosh. Oh, yeah. Look at that. They even used a plastic golf ball for that one. I can't believe it.
Tom, this was filmed in like 1922, this movie.
Such a great movie.
This was a good movie.
I didn't like the second one though.
Nobody likes the second one. Nobody likes the second.
Yeah.
There have not been very
Oh,
many
man.
second movies of anything.
But they
that
could
turned out
not
to
have
be-
used a real golf ball at least. Ay. That's the first time I noticed that. Wow.
All right, 4-2. Ding 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 ding.
I don't know that either one of you really
I answered more
knew your
correctly than
golfers
he
that
did.
much.
Yeah, you did pretty good.
Yeah.
Well,
I would have gotten Rory if I'd like just looked and had full screen, but I was looking in that little one. What's up,
I
Steve?
wasn't even looking at the faces.
doing,
I was
my
looking
brother?
at the body and the stroke. That's how I was guessing my players.
I'm sure you were.
all right. So let's bring this plane in for a landing. And big announcement, big show announcement. Time change is coming.
Jay.
We just did a time change. But
Yes,
there's
we
another
did.
time change coming.
What do you mean showtime change?
Showtime, yes. We're going midnights to 4 a.m. starting next week.
7
We're
days
doing
a
the
week.
overnight shift.
7 days a week.
Okay.
We're targeting the European audience because it's 6 a.m. then, so it's drive time in Kuwait.
I was just going to say, weren't we in Kuwait for a while?
We were big in Kuwait for a while.
In Germany?
We get this radio app. We had listeners in Germany too. Yes, we did. But no, we're the show's going back to 7:00. We're just gonna go to 7. 7:30 is too late. So we'll start at 7 and it'll go 7 to 8, 7 to 8:30, however that works.
Okay.
So, but anyway, Junior, what did we who's vibrating? I'll throw everybody out of here.
Not me.
What did we learn tonight, June?
We learned that you're the man when you can hit a home run in your pitching in a World Series game, and then you go from being a man to the wine man, and Rich Hill, the Avenger.
That was a good interview.
Time doesn't touch him.
They were both great. They
Yeah.
were both absolutely fabulous, great guys, and that's the thing when you work with a professional like Chris Visser, is that he's not just giving us. He's not delivering people. He's delivering the people that fit for our show.
Tremendous value.
Yeah. And
Can I ask you a question? What's the name of that guy's wine again? Because I want to try that.
Selena.
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 Just kidding.
You're in suspension too. You and Tom are both in the penalty box. We're going to set up a penalty box on this thing. They're going to sit in it.
Selena, for sure.
Steven, what'd you learn tonight?
I feel I learned a lot of things, even, how, position players can recover from Tommy John surgery quicker than pitchers.
All right. Steven was paying attention, and Steven paid better attention to you two, and he was traveling on this thing in an Uber and everywhere else.
Plus, I'm doing my class at the same time as well, so I'm multitasking again.
Wow. All right.
And I have Orr Hershiser's brother right now.
I'm gonna be like you when
His
I go
younger
up.
brother.
Yeah. So tomorrow night, all right, you do not want to miss tomorrow night's show. I mean, what's the biggest topic right now? Basketball. From LeBron James to Bronny to Stephen A. Smith to Dave Portnoy to there's something else going on, like something with college basketball. There's like the little tournament or something happening
something
too.
like that. I think something to do with March.
Something's about to kick off.
Yeah.
Madness.
March Madness. Thank you, Steven. So we're going to be talking all sorts of basketball tomorrow night. And then we are going to be talking baseball, Yankee baseball. And we touched on some Yankee stuff tonight, obviously, but we're going to get deep into Yankee baseball tomorrow night with Ricky Ricardo, the Spanish voice of the New York Yankees, and I believe some MLB games, and the Philadelphia world champion Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, we just get champion after champion after champion, unless they were cheated by the Houston Astros. Anyone that wasn't cheated by the Houston Astros,
the champion.
I can, and you know what? I consider Rich Hill a champion anyway, because the guy's 45 and he's still going. You barely can get to the show on time.
Oh, man.
And he's out there working his ass off to get back
Sometimes I get on
the
the
field.
toilet, I can't get up.
What about me?
Yeah, well, tax day, you're out. I'm collecting. There's a big pool. We all went in $1,000 a piece. There's 35 of us in this thing.
Yeah,
I'm taking the family to
terrible
Hawaii.
odds,
Yeah, but
though.
hang on a second.
If
If I go past the last death pool date, does that mean I get the money?
You get. We'll give you a pack of cigarettes if you make it.
If you
back
guys
to the
all
field, right?
lose, I get the money.
Oh, we appreciate everybody tuning in, and not just tomorrow night. On Wednesday night, we got Nick Pecora, a fascinating story. Born deaf, plays hockey, but not just plays hockey. Plays hockey at a collegiate level, and now he's playing for the. And I'm gonna mess this up because I don't have it in front of me, but the Deaf USA team.
Yes.
And this is like a national Olympic sort of thing where they're traveling around the world and they're playing other teams from other countries. It's a really big deal.
I think it's safe to call him an American hero at this point.
Yeah, the dude is definitely an American hero. So he's a role model, is what he is, and he's a kid, and he's a really nice kid, and his family's great. So we got that, and then we got so much. We got Troy West later this week, and I mean, it's just the hits just keep on coming. So make sure that you tune in to all the other phenomenal shows there. And Joe Q is getting ready to come on in the bleachers here momentarily if he hasn't already started. So Joe Q every night on In the Bleachers. Joe Q also eligible. Great show Saturday mornings, horse racing. He'll give you the horse racing winners for that Saturday and the biggest tracks in the biggest races. And look, next month we're leading up to the Kentucky Derby, and you've been to many. We've spent many derbies and Belmonts and Preaknesses at the Palm Beach Kennel Club, me and you.
We have.
And what do?
We win.
We collect. We
We
collect. We're
win.
damn good at what we do. So, and Defoe tomorrow. Conversation with Jeff DeForest tomorrow. He's got. This is the old age, Chris. If you're still listening, text me, help me. He's got the coach, the guy who just left Miami.
Oh, geez.
Basketball or
Yeah. So Defoe tomorrow, 4:00
Jim
conversation.
Lagana?
Yeah, something like that. Yes.
Lauren Ghana.
Yeah, so you don't want to miss that. Defoe and Luby also every morning at 8 a.m. Their show it's a great way to wake up. It's entertaining. You can find out what you missed while you were sleeping. You got Robin, you got LaStella Report coming in tomorrow. Ken Levicka coming up later this week. The new Welcome to Miami, Inter Miami podcast. You got Kicking It Back with Matt, and way more. So, with that said, let me find something to get us out of here on. I guess we'll just use our regular get out of here song. We got to thank Joe Blanton for coming on with us tonight.
Yep.
We got to thank Rich Hill for coming on with us tonight. We got to thank Chef Tom for playing along. How well do you know your golfers?
Sorry you lost, Tom.
Thanks, Steven, for coming in, even from work, even from school, and producing tonight. Thank everybody that joined us in the chat. We're doing a bad job with the chat, Steven. You got to keep an eye on the chat.
Yeah, I
laid out so
I will.
differently. Joe Q gave us the answers, but I'm not seeing it, Joe.
Tarragona. And then he says Colonel Downs this Saturday.
Colonial Downs, not Colonel Downs. Colonial Downs this Saturday. So
Him too.
anyway, until tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Everybody have a fantastic night. Don't drink and drive. And at 10 p.m., make sure you know where your kids are.
Or just don't get caught.
Don't smoke cigarettes.
Don't
Bad
drink
for your
and
Don't
health.
drink and drive.
Alright?
Don't drink and drive.
Smoking cigarettes are bad for your health.
Yeah. We're out of here, guys. We'll be back tomorrow night. Appreciate y'all.